It was more than just a prison, it was a statement. Alcatraz, the rock, was designed not merely to hold criminals, but to hold the worst of them. Perched on a wind-battered island, isolated by frigid, unforgiving waters, Alcatraz stood as America's answer to the crime wave of the 1930s. No inmates ever officially escaped alive. No one was supposed to. Frank Morris, sharp-minded, cold, precise. He had an IQ reportedly above 130 and a reputation for slipping through security like smoke through cracks. Every prison that had tried to contain him failed until Alcatraz. Then came the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence. Raised poor in Georgia, they were close, dangerously close. Together they robbed banks with a quiet confidence. They never harmed anyone. They never gave up on each other. When fate and the justice system landed all three in adjoining cells, a quiet fire began to build behind those concrete walls. Each man had one thought: get out. Their plan wasn't born from impulse. It grew over months. Every detail counted. Every second was accounted for. It started in late 1961 when Frank Morris came across discarded saw blades in a utility corridor. That was the spark. The rest: genius, desperation, and time. Working late into the night, Morris and the Anglins spent months cutting through the rear air vents of their cells, an inch at a time. Using handmade tools, sharpened spoons, bent nails, and an improvised drill fashioned from a vacuum cleaner motor. Every motion was slow, deliberate, muffled. They hid their progress with cardboard, books, and even suitcases. Just behind the cell wall lay an unguarded maintenance corridor. Freedom was closer than anyone realized. Above the cell block was a hollow attic space, a dark, dust-choked void. They turned it into a workshop. There, by flashlight and stolen tools, they built their escape. A 6 by 14-foot raft stitched from over 50 raincoats, vulcanized seams, sealed with hot water pipes and pressure, homemade paddles from plywood and scrap metal, dummy heads, painted, plastered, topped with stolen barbershop hair. Every night they ran the same drill. One man worked, one watched. They fashioned a crude periscope from a mirror and cardboard to monitor the catwalks. The guards never knew. On a foggy Monday night, it all came together. At lights out, the men placed their dummy heads on their pillows. Morris gave the final nod. John and Clarence Anglin were ready. But Alan West, their fourth, wasn't. His vent was stuck. Time was up. He was left behind. The three escapees slipped through their vents into the shadowy corridor, then climbed to the roof of the prison. Guards stood just feet away, unaware of the silhouettes moving silently above them. They pried open the roof vent, held in place until that moment by a soap and paint bolt, and emerged into the cold night air. Below, the waves crashed against the rocks like thunder. Down the bakery chimney they went, over the outer fence, and across the dark yard to the shoreline. They inflated the raft using a concertina reed instrument, cleverly adapted into a makeshift air pump. Then they vanished into the black water, pushing off with homemade paddles. Three ghosts on a rubber raft, heading into the unknown. At 7 a.m., the silence shattered. A guard poked a sleeping Morris, and his hand hit plaster. The dummy's head rolled to the floor. Panic spread like wildfire. The prison locked down. Helicopters soared. Boats crisscrossed the bay. The FBI took command. Every boat operator in the bay was questioned. Dive teams scoured the water. Within 48 hours, pieces of the puzzle began to surface. A homemade paddle floating near Angel Island. A life vest washed ashore on Cronkite Beach. A packet of sealed letters bound in rubber. But there were no bodies, no footprints, no stolen vehicles, no known accomplices.
It was brilliant, but risky. We can't prove they lived. We just can't prove they didn't. FBI.
Years passed, then decades. No confirmed sightings, no bodies, no arrests. Some said the men drowned, lost to the current, their bones resting beneath the bay. Others said they made it, that they crossed to Angel Island, then to Marin, that they changed their names, their faces, their lives. A letter surfaced in 2013, allegedly from John Anglin. We all made it. I'm 83 now. I have cancer. Please help me. But handwriting tests were inconclusive. The FBI dismissed it. The U.S. Marshal Service still lists them as fugitives. If alive today, they'd be in their 90s. Did they drown beneath the weight of their ambition? Or did three men once locked in the world's most secure prison achieve the impossible? They vanished into the fog, and the rock has kept its silence ever since. To this day, the escape from Alcatraz remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Thanks for watching. Check out this other video here on the channel.